Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and this is my channel about knitting, crocheting and other crafts. And as many of you have noticed, I have been away for the last 3 weeks and I'm so happy to be back. A lot of things has happened over the last 3 weeks. I have been working on my Mohair sweater, started a top in the silk bourette, and also I was working on my maple leaf earrings tutorial, which was very exciting. And also I did quite a bit of travel. As you know, my mother-in-law came over to visit us, so we have been traveling a lot. But let's start from the beginning. In this vlog, I'll show you everything I filmed over the past 3 weeks, and then we'll catch up at the end to see how much progress has been made. But before we start, and if you enjoy this video, I would ask you to consider subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up to this video. That will mean a lot to me and that will really support me and my channel. I would really appreciate it. But as of now, without further ado, let's get started.
First thing you'll see is my Mohair sweater project. If you watched my previous vlog, you'll remember that I had already made it all the way to the underarm separation. Everything seemed to be going well, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized I wanted the fit to be a little wider and more relaxed. So after spending all the time knitting, I made the difficult decision to frog a huge section and start all over again. Not exactly the progress I was hoping for, especially right before a trip, but sometimes that's just part of the knitting progress. Since I was about to travel, I decided not to take the sweater with me. It was being knitted from a cone, which isn't exactly the most travel-friendly project. And instead I packed 2 skeins of bourette silk and cast on a new summer top. Of course, during the first few days of the trip, I barely touched my knitting. We spent most of our time exploring. On our very first day, we visited a winery in La Rioja. La Rioja is Spain's most famous wine producing region, which a winemaking tradition that goes back centuries. Their area is known for its beautiful vineyards, medieval villages, and world-renowned red wines. During the visit, we enjoyed the wine tasting and learned about the history of the winery and the region itself. It was fascinating, and I would definitely recommend visiting if you are ever in the area. After that, we stayed in Toledo, which became our base for the next few days. Toledo is often called the city of 3 cultures because Christians, Muslims, and Jews lived here side by side for centuries. The city is full of winding medieval streets, ancient architecture, and incredible views over the Tagus River. Everywhere you look, there is another beautiful building or hidden corner waiting to be discovered. From Toledo, we made several days trips to Madrid. One of the favorite stops was the Banksy Museum. I have always loved Banksy's work, so I was really excited to finally visit. Seeing the pieces up close and learning more about the stories behind them was a wonderful experience. We also visited Prado Museum, which had been on my wish list for a very long time. It absolutely lived up to my expectations. The collection is incredible and I could easily have spent another full day there. During all these days, we were dealing with an intense heat wave, just like much of Europe. Because of the scorching temperatures, we often found ourselves seeking refuge in museums, cathedrals, and other historic buildings where we could escape the midday sun for a while. Later, we visited Segovia, where we explored the Alcazar and magnificent cathedral. Segovia feels almost like stepping into a fairy tale, especially when you see the castle rising above the city. Although I had cast on my silk top back in Toledo, it wasn't until we reached Segovia that I finally had enough quiet time to sit down and make some real progress on it. It felt wonderful to slow down for a few hours and simply knit. On our way back home, we also stopped at the small coastal town of Camillas. One of the highlights there was El Capriccio, one of the Antoni Gaudi's earliest works. The building is famous for its sunflower-themed ceramic decorating, vibrant colors, and playful architecture. Even at this early stage of his career, you can already see many of the ideas and natural forms that would later become characteristic of Gaudi's work. It was such a unique and beautiful place to visit. Finally, after returning home, it was time to get back to work and settle into my normal routine. I picked up the silk top again and kept knitting until it reached that exciting stage where the design starts to reveal itself, and you can finally see what the finished garment might become.
I have been working on my new top and started knitting it together and just tried it on and feel that I would add a couple more stitches over here on underarms. So I'm just pulling it apart and we'll add, I think, 4 more stitches here and here on each side, and then put it together and knit more. But I really like how it turning out, and I think that color is really beautiful and it feels really nice, the silk. I'm knitting from 2 skeins at the same time because I didn't want to cut the yarn just in case I don't like it and I need to pull this apart. But I will re-knit a little bit, knit a little bit more over here, so then I can try it on and show you how that looks. Alright, so I finished the first skein of yarn and wanted to show you how it looks like on me. I really like how it fits. I did quite a few decreases over here. I did 5 decreases. Back looks nice. I think it fits nicely also. So when I was knitting the back is around 10 stitches less than the front. And front I intentionally made a little bit wider. So I finished with the first skein. I want to wash it and see how yarn will change. And of course the bottom looks weird right now, and I still have this almost full skein of yarn left. It doesn't look pretty because it was falling apart, so I didn't cut it off just in case I need to redo something. But so far so good. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do over here. Should I leave it like that? Should I add something? I'm definitely not gonna add any more stitches over here, but I think overall it looks nicely. Did I supposed to start decreases before that? I want it to be kind of flowy because it's still silk, but at the same time I don't want it to be way too wide. So, and I know that yarn is gonna stretch a lot, so we'll go to wash it and see how it turns out. Alright, so I washed it, it dried out, and now I see that it's kind of way a lot over here.
So I think I'll just pull it apart and I don't know, I'll just do a couple rows over here. I'm gonna leave it there and then start doing decreases way earlier than here because it's way too much.
So we are back from the beach. I feel today was a very productive day. I finally finished working on the pattern and I was wearing my earrings to the beach, so it get really wet. But anyways, I think I really liked how it felt wearing it and how it looked together with my swimming suit. But anyways, I feel that I'm now full of energy. I will drop all the videos to my laptop, work on fixing all the errors and putting together the tutorial, and I just need to finish a little final piece for that tutorial and we'll be able to work on my short. I apologize for my voice because I was swimming, water was really cold, but still feel that it was really good. So that's an update. I will get back to working on tutorial and we'll see you soon. I just finished filming the last piece of my tutorial for earrings. I will sit down now and do my magic on laptop to get this released today. I think should take a couple hours to get this done and still need to cook dinner, and there are some things for work I still need to do, but I feel the day overall was really productive and I'm happy with the result. I just wanted to show you the result. I finished those 2 earrings. I think that's really cute, and I have on my mind another set of earrings. I think that's gonna be more like floral theme, and I will start working on that next week. So I'm very excited about that. So that was all the updates as of today. Thank you so much for staying with me up until the end of this video. I really appreciate it. As of now, I'm still working on my sweater. Here's all the progress I made. I was working on it only one evening while my top was drying out, and I didn't pay much attention to it. So I think I will work on it over the next week and see how it goes. That's not the priority right now because summer is here and I want to make sure I'm able to wear my silk top as soon as it's ready. And regarding the silk top, I managed just to work on it yesterday. And that's all the progress I made so far because I unraveled it up until this part. And hopefully all the decreases I'm planning to do are going to be enough because I did only 2 decreases on each side so far, and I'm planning to do at least 5 more and try it on, maybe wash one more time and see how it goes. That was a complete surprise for me to see that it stretched out the other way around. I thought it will just get longer. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just put it into the washing machine and see how that works out. Hopefully it's gonna be fine and I will not need to reknit entire piece again. And of course my earrings are ready and I'm starting to work on another tutorial. I'm sorry, I lost a couple stitches here, so I can't help myself putting it back on the needles. So anyways, thank you so much, and I hope to see you next week on my weekly vlog. I promise not to skip next week, and we'll see you then. Thank you. Bye.